social work in Africa?
Okay, thanks so much for that question. My own understanding, social work in Africa is a way of reaching out to the less privileged, to the people that have need for help. And currently, it's a professional, field of study that have been able to make impacts in life of people. But it looks so, less known among the people because it has not become more popular like other professions. But social workers in Africa, they have been thriving to reach out to as many. And we have many success stories of life that have been impacted through the services of social workers in Africa. And to me, I think with this innovation and idea, social work in Africa can go far and near to impact more lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That is very powerful and a great contribution. And while in that line, I want to invite Harun Mohammed. Harun Mohammed, I would like you to consider responding to this. What do you think is the role of media, generally, what is the role of media in social work, and how can it impact not only social work professional development, but also how it is impacting the community at large, in a simple way, probably?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayeka. When you are talking about the media is just a means of communication in this our new century now. It is a means of transferring knowledge from one place to another. Now, in passing of information, it's a tool. Is a vital tool in social work practice. A media stands in as a gap, in bridging the gaps between one place to another, and this will really help in developing the profession. It helps an individual to focus on what we are doing, to let people that are not known, because in African context, social work is a fast-growing profession. So the media will help people to know more about our profession. Nigeria has a case study now. We are opportune. Our president just passed it to law. The social work practice just passed it to law as of yesterday. So this will also help people. It has been in the media for some times past, and the public servants are knowing much about this practice. They are knowing the effectiveness, the efficiency of the practice. So making use of the media in this context will help the populace to know much, understand the effect of social work in the populace, not only in Africa as a whole, but the effect of social work in Africa as an international world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harun. That is very powerful, combining the understanding of media and its role in empowering community through professionalization. That is very true. And now to James. James, you as a student, probably almost graduating, it will be very good to get your reflection and your thought on your understanding about the role of media, and particularly on the Malawian context. What would you say has the media had an impact, or what do you see the impact of these new branded network going to contribute to the development of a profession, not only in Malawi, but
it's still a growing population, and we have so many people that don't know what are social workers, what do they do, their laws, etc., etc. So having this TV as a media platform will help to advance the profession in a way that people now will start to realize what's the laws of social workers, especially in Malawi and Africa, in Eastern Africa. So we will also help to advance the role that social workers play in the community. For instance, we have so many young people that go online to search for, about social work. and most of the information that is available is to do with, I mean, the Western social work perceptions, theories, etc., etc. So it will not only impact the profession, it also impact the academic way of doing things. In university, I reflect, I mean, I would actually go on YouTube to search about, I mean, things to do with social work. So you'd actually find most of the things that I explained in a Western perspective. So we also need to have that perspective of doing things in an Afrocentric way of conducting social work. So actually, we should actually take that as a point of entry in the videos that we're going to make. Taking social work perception in Afrocentric manner. So you'd actually agree with me that we have the Malawian social work who are doing the seminar videos, but we are actually working to collaborate with the Malawian social worker, so we can the University of Malawi, the Lilongwe University, so we can actually come up with a relevant content for Malawi and Africa. That is sure.
Thank you so much. That is a very good context, looking at the regional, the national and the regional context of it. Now, we have noticed that we as young people, probably our concerns and our needs are not always taken into consideration. And we are glad that most of young people have decided to come up together and unite so that we can be able to advance the profession, even as we put into consideration the needs of today's generation, and particularly meeting the needs of the young people and the community at large. In a nutshell, I would get back to you, Emmanuel, and ask, do you see media as an objective channel that we as young people can use to advance our concerns, even as we focus on promoting professional development? What are your reflections to that, Emmanuel?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayeka. Sincerely, media is the ultimate in reaching out to people. And it's so objective that media does not discriminate. Either you're Africa or you're from Europe. Media is accessible to everyone, irrespective of your location, your country. And I think through the media, social workers in Africa can reach the largest population. And by this, the efficiency of our services can be disseminated to many people. For instance, now, we have an organization that run online therapy. Now, this can only be achieved through the media. And now look at the social work TV that we're about launching. I think this can be a great tool through which people can get to know more about what social workers are doing. And in Africa, it can also be a great tool in which we can educate the people about their social issues and social challenges. And I think media is indeed a great tool through which we can reach people. And look at the case of Nigeria. Many media now just being told about the social work we have been part. We get to know about this through the media. Media is an objective medium through which social workers can reach out and make great impacts. Thank you.
We'll be able to follow the conversation through. Now, back to you, Harun. I think you moving forward, we are very happy that through the Young Social Work Network that was launched last month, or this month actually, 2 weeks, about 2 weeks ago, Now we are moving forward in launching the Social Work TV Africa. What would you recommend, or what will you advise the young people on the African continent and the globe per se, how or what you see as the main role this Social Work TV is going to play, and how best can we utilize this opportunity to convey the communication of importance of professionalization of social work in Africa? And alluding to what James mentioned is we also need to consider applying Afrocentric approaches in meeting our social work, social development concerns. So it's a wide area, but you can just discuss in a few minutes from your understanding. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayeka. Like my colleagues has earlier said, social work is just a fast-growing profession in Africa. But mind you, social work has been in existence in Africa before it became a certified profession. I can tell you categorically that the European nation hijacked the profession from us, because then it was not a profession pass, it was not a course that was taken in the four walls of the classroom. But now, making use of the media to publicize what social work really entails, we make the general public to have more interest in the social work field. We make the general public to understand what social work is all about. Now, I can tell you categorically that most Africans will engage in social work practice, either consciously or unconsciously. But majority of them are not certified. So we don't regard them as social workers. Now, when we are now discussing about what we are doing in the field, it will make them have more interest in the field per se. Because if you want to train your children, you are upbringing your children, you must go through this field. You must understand some aspects of the field. So without doing this, it's nothing to write all about. Now, in making use of the social media is always our tool. African generally, we make use of social media. I can tell you, we make use of it largely than the people that even created the social media space. Now, in making use of social media as a tool for connecting people, bringing people together to understand the impact of this field, we go a long way, and people will always welcome with it because it's something they are most familiar with, but they don't know that it's something they have been doing in the past. So thank you, Mr. Mayaka.
Thank you so much for that response. And back to you, James. I can see you are with Francis, so I don't know, probably both of you can reflect on this, but as young people, what should we do, and how best can we utilize this platform to advance the professional development in the region? And what will be your advice to our fellow young people in the region?
So I think the best way of you utilizing this platform, I mean, your question was to how young people can utilize this question. Can you rephrase it again?
Generally, we would love to know, to hear what how best or which means can we bring on board more young people, and how best can we utilize the platform that we've already created. Remember that this Social Work TV is a project or a program of a young social work network, and it is very important for all of us to come together and utilize this platform so that we move it together in unity. So how would you advise the rest of the young people who are already on the network and those ones who are not in the network to join us in this course? And more importantly, with the platform already created, how can we utilize this platform to reach the wider masses?
Okay, so I mean, this platform, the Social Work TV Africa, it
Yep.
signifies a practice dimension of professional social work. So what I would encourage is, I mean, there are more people, there are more, I mean, the population already indicates, the population statistics indicates that there are more people, young people in Africa. So, I mean, one person should share link to each other. I mean, we have more young people who share, we have more viewers, we have more people subscribe to the channel so that they
Lost. How can we use? How can we advance professionalization in the region, respecting solidarity amongst all the generations? So, in a nutshell, even if we are advancing the agenda of the young people in this platform, at the back of our mind, we know that we cannot move with as young people alone. We rely in an Ubuntu perspective. We are all interconnected. So for that reason, we need to move forward as a unit for us to achieve development. And therefore, what in a conclusion, because I think this will be the conclusion words from each one of us, what would you say will be the best way for all of us to move forward?
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayeka. It's a great one, and the best way to move forward, as you have said, is in the spirit of unity. Now, looking at social work as a profession, if we look at it carefully, what makes social work to become more needed than ever is the issue of civilization and urbanization. If you look at in the olden days, people live together in community and they're able to relate. In such a scenario, there is strong social support system that is being built, and we have less of psychosocial issues. But now urbanization has taken place. People are more of their business, their work, and the distance is becoming wild. Now, using this medium, we can be able to connect well with older generation. How have they been addressing their social issues, their psychological issues? Through the professional way and the traditional way. When it is well harmonized, you come up with a model that is Afrocentric, in which professional services can be rendered to people. And from my own ends, in conclusion, this platform is a great one that can really help us in linking the generation, the past ones and the current one, to be able to render outstanding professional service to individuals and to Africa and beyond the shore generally. And through this, we can promote professionalism. How can I promote this? Through trainings and through different seminars that's being disseminated on this platform. And by this, you'll be able to know, okay, these are the method, these are the theory, these are the principles in rendering outstanding professional social services. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harun. In your closing remarks, I would like you to also, and building on the Ubuntu philosophy, which emphasizes on solidarity, interconnectedness, and among others, interdependence amongst all of the institutions. If we look from the angle of government, there's an interdependence in institution, in the community, interdependence amongst the generations, and in the global world, interdependence within the region of the states. Even we as Africans, we are interdependent in some way. And this is the reason probably we are coming together as social workers in Africa to advance our needs, and more importantly, focusing on the needs of firstly the young people, and then the children, the elderly, and women, all of them, all the generations and all gender. So what would you say in a nutshell in your closing remarks?
In the recent days of our technological life, there is no day today we don't make use of our social media, we don't make use of our gadgets, in short. Now, this gadget should just serve as a tool, as make life easy for us all. So we should try to make use of it effectively. Like individually, we need to promote what we are selling. We have nothing we are selling other than this profession. And our profession should just be at the marketplace always. We should learn to publicize what we are doing. We should utilize all medium we can encounter with, like all social media space we are making use of that we can publicize the profession. Let people know, bring them on board. Even people that are not, you bring them on board. Let them understand that this field is for all. Let's build this kind of relationship. Let's build the rapport so that we let them understand that the field is for all. While we are solving our problem, it will make it easier for us in our professional life. So I will just suggest in this platform, intercontinentally making use of everything to make things easy for us. Everybody, I remember when we started the program, then it was just like a joke. I posted the flyers we were posting on the group. Then Mr. Mayaka was posting on the group. I had to post it on several platforms of social work I know personally of. And I can see my members coming on board. And they are making a lot of move as a student, as a graduate. So I believe with this, everybody can make their own impact, individually, collectivism. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Harun, for that wonderful reflection. And you've even given an example on how the media has impacted the development of this network. Thank you so much. Now, young people, young social workers particularly, how we can be able to utilize media for our professional development and even for our personal development. Because at the end of the day, even if we are focusing on the profession, we also need to concentrate on our needs in some way. And all these are interconnected, as we said. So, James, your remarks and your advice as closing remarks.
Okay. As we are working in advancing the profession, the main focus should not entirely be on the profession development. I mean, social work, as we believe in group work. So we actually not to focus on the social workers only, but we want more people to come in. We need more partners to come in. We know some students who've been involved in who did media for development. We know some students who are engaged in other activities like festival, etc., etc. I mean, we can always, you're always welcome. We can engage you. We have the concept. I mean, the social work, we know this is what we want to do. And we can always sit down and discuss, I mean, how best we can do. I mean, it's not on, we're not only focusing on advancing the profession, but also we are focusing on the bringing an impact. I mean, enhancing the community well-being. So bringing attitudes, behavior change, etc., etc. So that does not require the social workers as well. But of course, we have the knowledge and skills on how we can go about that. But we need more people with different skills, with different capacities, who can help as a group to bring change. So the platform is open, and we need more partners who actually help us in bringing and achieving the goals to the community as well as professional development. Sure. So that's what I can say.
Thank you so much, James. That is a very important and very interesting, because collaborative work is very important, key for any development to move forward. And that is true. We cannot move as an isolated unit. We are all social workers, whether young, old, experienced, unexperienced, student, practitioner, we are all social workers. And that is why this platform is inviting all professional social workers to join us even as we advance professional development. We also advocate for the meeting the needs of the community. That is the core role of social work, promoting community or well-being of every single individual in our society. And we want to see that Africa attains or regains its glory by ensuring that each and every single African in the continent is able to live a dignified, justified, and peaceful life. That is the essence and the principles of Ubuntu. The values of Ubuntu encourages togetherness and the supporting each other. So I have to lift you for you to grow, and while I lift you, you also lift the other one. So reciprocity is very key at this end. Well, as I said, we had our colleague Gerald, who joined us a little bit late, and he will be finishing or closing the session by giving his general overview remarks on the role of media. I know he has been involved a lot in media, being that he is among the editors at the Commonwealth social work body, and it will be good to get his reflection and what he will be advising the young people, not only in the continent, but globally, how we can be able to come together and advance social work profession. Gerald, to you.
Well, thank you very much, Mayaka, and thank you for the invitation. I'm so glad that we are advancing and taking great steps in this young African social work movement. It brings a lot of joy and a lot of a ray of hope, especially even to the practicing social workers who have been in the profession for such a long time. They are seeing that indeed this baby of the young African social workers has life, and ultimately we will be integrating also in the International Federation of Social Workers. So it's really a good thing that we are moving on, and the fact that this integration is yielding fruits. I want to thank you, Mayaka, and all colleagues that are on, that indeed the issue of integrating media is very key, and not only integrating media, but even integrating the experts in the media field. One of the things that have affected the social work profession from advancing, not only in Africa, not only in my country like Uganda, but even across the globe, is because we have pushed aside the people who are experts in this field. So as we advance, as social workers, definitely we shall dominate this space, but let us use this opportunity to learn from these media experts. Let us be open also to involve them. Let them know what our profession is about. Let them get to learn what our plans are, so that whenever they are interacting with the public at a broader perspective, they can share with them our goal and the heart behind this. For example, tomorrow we'll be launching the Social Work Africa TV, which is a very good initiative. But how are we, expanding this? How are our colleagues who are in the media space, getting excited? My trust and belief is that this TV, this online platform, will be the one true source for information that any social worker or any other person who is seeking for information about social work in Africa will run to. So as we build this, let us build this knowing that we are building a one true source of information for practicing social workers and even the public that is interested to know more about our profession. Thank you very much, Mayaka, and I'm glad to have been a part of this. And I pray that our initiatives and our efforts will continue growing and benefiting the people of Africa and beyond. I am because you are, and you are because I am. The Ubuntu spirit. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the colleagues who made it this hour to discuss. And indeed, social work is the profession that is going to change the world. And young people are the heartbeat of ensuring that we are able to achieve the aspiration of a better world. And all social workers, whether a student, practitioner, trainer, even volunteers, you're all welcomed to join this wonderful initiative and this great platform of African TV Social Work. We all have to join arms in creating a new eco-social world that leaves no one behind. It is very important for us to move together in unity, just as we work under this influence of Ubuntu philosophy in Africa. That is the spirit that we should be able to advance and advocate for in the development of an inclusive Africa for every single individual, young, old, women, and men, including children. Thank you all and welcome even as we move forward. May the good Lord bless you.